You think you're over it. That what happened in childhood is just in the past. But then, you find yourself overreacting to small things. You shut down during conflict. You crave closeness, but push people away. Sound familiar? This isn't just relationship drama. It's childhood trauma, playing itself out in adult love. And most people have no idea it's happening. Let's talk about it. Your partner doesn't reply for a few hours and suddenly your chest tightens. You check your phone obsessively. You spiral. Did I do something wrong? Are they mad at me? Are they leaving? And even when they say, hey, I was just busy, it doesn't make the fear go away. That fear didn't start with them. It started long before. When love in childhood was unpredictable, or came with conditions, you learned to brace for it to disappear. And now, even in healthy relationships, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You say you want peace. But your nervous system is wired for chaos. You crave love, but don't trust it to last. This isn't you being needy. It's you trying to feel safe in a world that once felt unsafe. You read too much into silence. You panic when someone withdraws. You assume you're the problem. You over-apologize. You people please to keep the connection alive. You struggle to relax in love. You look for reassurance constantly. You avoid conflict at all costs. You catastrophize minor issues. And deep down, you brace for rejection, even when none is coming. You meet someone who gives you butterflies and drama. You're hooked. They text nonstop. Then disappear. Then love bomb you again. And somehow, it feels familiar. Almost like home. That's not chemistry. That's trauma recognition. When chaos was normal in childhood, peace feels boring. So you confuse nervous system activation with connection. Real love might feel calm. But if you've only known conditional love, calm feels scary. You chase unavailable people. You get bored when it's easy. You confuse being ignored with being challenged. This isn't a relationship issue, it's a nervous system issue. You're not broken. You're just trying to recreate the emotional patterns you survived. You think passion equals pain. You confuse obsession with love. You're drawn to push-pull dynamics. You mistake unpredictability for excitement. You feel more alive in chaos. You idealize intense beginnings. You ignore red flags because they feel familiar. You stay longer than you should. You believe love must be earned. You confuse manipulation with depth. You've been shamed for your emotions as a child, you learn to hide them. So as an adult, vulnerability feels dangerous. You smile when you're hurting. You change the subject when it gets too real. You say I'm fine when you're absolutely not. Because as a kid, being emotional meant being too much. Or worse, being punished. Now, love feels like performance. You're always scanning the room. Is it okay to be myself right now? The fear isn't just rejection. It's the fear of being fully seen. And abandoned for it. But real connection only happens when we're seen. So this fear becomes a wall. You crave closeness, but feel trapped in loneliness. And the worst part? You start to believe that this is just who you are. You bottle up pain to appear strong. You rehearse conversations in your head. You feel like a fraud in relationships. You believe your emotions are a burden. You minimize your needs. You overfunction to compensate. You stay surface level to avoid depth. You hide your tears out of shame. You fear being labeled as too emotional. You suppress parts of yourself to stay accepted. You can't change what happened. But you can stop it from controlling your relationships. Healing starts with awareness. Noticing your triggers. Naming your patterns. Being radically honest with yourself. When fear shows up, pause. Breathe. Ask, what is this really about? You don't have to heal alone. Therapy, inner child work, somatic practices, they all help you rewire your story. You are not too sensitive. You are not too complicated. You are not too broken. You're carrying pain that was never yours to begin with. And now, you get to let it go. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't define your future. You are allowed to be loved gently. You are allowed to feel safe. And you are worthy of a love that doesn't hurt. Healing is messy. Healing takes time. You will slip into old patterns. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're healing. Self-compassion is part of the process. Progress isn't linear. Celebrate every moment you choose differently. Your nervous system will learn. Your heart will soften. You will learn to feel safe again. You say sorry for asking for a hug. You feel guilty for needing reassurance. You downplay your emotions because you don't want to be a burden. That's not humility. That's learned shame. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that your needs were too much, or inconvenient. Now, even in safe relationships, you hesitate to ask for what you need. You'd rather suffer in silence than risk feeling rejected. But here's the truth: healthy love welcomes your needs. It doesn't punish you for being human. When you apologize for your feelings, you abandon yourself. And the healing begins when you stop doing that. You're not too much. You're not too needy. You're just remembering how to take up space in your own life. You have the right to ask for comfort. You have the right to be held. You have the right to be understood. You have the right to exist without apology. Love shouldn't feel like negotiation. It should feel like home. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve emotional safety. You deserve tenderness. You deserve to be heard. You say you want something different, a kind, respectful, loving partner. But you keep ending up with the same emotionally unavailable types. Why? Because your nervous system craves what it knows. And what it knows might be chaos, criticism, or emotional distance. You're not choosing the wrong people on purpose. You're following an old blueprint, one you didn't create. The good news? Blueprints can be changed. It starts with noticing the pattern, and choosing differently, even when it feels uncomfortable. Healthy love might feel unfamiliar at first. But unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong. It might just mean healing. You don't have to repeat the past to feel safe. You can rewrite the story. And that story can end in peace, not pain. Familiar doesn't equal safe. Familiar often equals survival. And survival is not the same as thriving. The person who feels might be peace. The person who feels electric might be danger. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to unlearn chaos. You're allowed to feel calm without boredom. Love shouldn't feel like anxiety. Love should feel like exhale. The future can be different, if you choose it. If this video made you feel seen, if it helped you name something you've been carrying, I want you to know this: you are not alone. Your story matters. Your healing matters. And there's nothing wrong with you for still learning how to love and be loved. If you're on a journey of healing your relationships, especially with yourself, I'd love for you to subscribe. There's so much more we're going to unpack together. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and let's keep growing, one truth at a time.